and welcome to a new video where we're going to get to know lots of savanna animals. On this cover, we have a photograph of a baboon in the wild, which is a type of monkey. Inte. Also, we're going to use the Great Animal Encyclopedia, which you already know I love because inside we have a lot of interesting information. For example, here it talks about the Arctic fox and the reindeer. Let's open our box, because the inside is really full of different figures. Let's see. Wow, we dropped a vulture. Look, let's learn the name and characteristics of each one of them. And let's see which one comes out first. The vulture came out of the box, so it looks like it's really eager to come out. The vulture is an impressive bird. It has gigantic wings and a wingspan of over 3 meters. So just imagine this giant of the skies soaring over the blue sky. Its body, as you can see, is very robust. And it has a lot of feathers, however, its head lacks them. In addition, it has a strong beak, and we can see its powerful claws that it uses to hunt. Look at how big these claws are. It is also a scavenger, which means it also feeds on animals that are already dead and have been hunted by other animals. I love the little figure, because as you can see, it's one of the soft ones. Look, the inside is full of cork balls, and we can also stretch it. Plus, it's slightly sticky. As you can see, its feathers are sticking. Now that we know a bit more about the vulture, we'll leave it here to get to know a different one. And out of our box comes a big hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses, although they usually seem very calm, can actually be very dangerous because they have a lot of strength in their jaws. Here we have the figure with its mouth open. This way we can see all its teeth, which, as you can see, are quite big and very long and thick. The little figure is also super cool because it comes with cork balls inside, which makes it very relaxing. The hippopotamus can live underwater and also on land. Let's see more information in the encyclopedia. And what a coincidence, friends! Because while looking for the hippopotamus, I found that we also have information about the vulture on this page. This way, we can see what it looks like in real life. Wow. I like this encyclopedia because all the photographs that appear are of animals in the wild, which is how all animals should be. Regarding the hippopotamus, here we can see it in the water. It says that it can reach about 4 tons in weight and about 4 meters in length. It is a mammal and usually lives in groups of between 20 and 100 individuals. But let's also bring up the picture of the vulture because I find it impressive. But look at this beak, and as I was saying, the top of its head has no feathers, while the feathers on its wings are quite long. Let's leave our hippopotamus here and continue with a different animal. Ow! Ow! We have a gray wolf. Ow! The figure is also one of the soft ones, and because of its posture, it looks like it's running. As you can see, it has quite a thick fur, especially around its head. With its mouth open, we can see its fangs. It has a very well-developed sense of hearing. We can also see its long tail. In some mountainous areas, wolves are endangered, so we need to take care of this species. Here's another one. Let's continue with a different one. And we have a large animal. An animal that lives in the savanna. As you can see, it is characterized by having a very large and robust body, but especially by the horns it has on the top of its head, or rather on its snout. This is the big Rhinoceros. This figure is different from the previous ones, since the inside is filled with orbits and not cork balls. That makes it very soft. And here we have more information about the rhinoceros along with several photographs. I really like this photograph because we can see a mother with her baby. Look at how tiny that rhinoceros is. Here's an interesting detail I'm going to show you. It's the difference in the horns. As you can see in these photographs, we have rhinoceroses with two horns on the top. One is longer and the other is smaller in the back. I'm sure you've seen other rhinoceroses with only one horn. That's because they're two different species. The Asian rhinoceros, which lives in the Asian region, has only one horn. Meanwhile, the African rhinoceros has two horns. So the one we see in these pictures is the African rhinoceros because it has two horns. We're told it can weigh about 3 tons. But despite that, it is able to run at high speed and is quite an agile animal. It can also reach about 3 meters in length. Very interesting. The time has come to meet the king and queen of the savannah. We have these feline figures. This is the lion and the lioness, the male and the female. As you can see, these figures are also soft. Although the lion is much more stuffed inside, since it has orbis beads. As you can see, we notice some differences between the male and the female. Let's look at the lion first. The lion is much bigger than the female and is characterized by having a lot of fur around its head. Also, the fur on its head is a darker color than the rest of its body. We can see its open jaw, revealing all its fangs. On the other hand, we have the lioness. The lioness has a slimmer, leaner body. However, this allows her to run at higher speeds and be much more agile. That's why lionesses are the ones in charge of hunting. They live in groups or prides, with one male lion and many females. The females are the ones responsible for taking care of the cubs. Here we can see him in a crouched position, since he usually crouches very stealthily. And when he sees prey, he starts running at high speed to catch it. And that way, he can feed the whole pride, including his young. I love these felines. We'll leave them here. And we'll continue with a different one. We have a type of snake. Look, we can stretch it a lot. And that allows us to throw it. It's something that's really fun. As you can see, it comes with its jaw open. We can see its fangs and its tongue, which, as you know, is characterized by being split in two at the tip. It's a cobra. We know that by the shape of its head. We can also notice its scaly skin. This snake is quite dangerous, so I wouldn't like to run into it. And we continue discovering animals of the savannah. This time we will get to know the great bison animal. In this figure, it really reminds me of a bull, especially because of the shape of its face and its horns. But it's actually a bison. As you can see, one of the differences with the bull is its fur. The bison has much longer hair. It also has a tail. And let's look at more information in the book. Also, as you can see, this figure hardly has any stuffing. It's actually quite soft and has a lot of air inside. Let's look at some more information. Look, on these pages, we have the hare and the bison. I want to bring it closer so you can see its fur. It's very large and its whole body is covered in hair, especially its head. Here we can see a bit of its horn. As you can see, the bison lives in groups or herds. This way, they can protect themselves in case a predator comes. And we only have a few animals left to meet, but as you can see, an impressive reptile is coming out of this box. It's a caiman. With its 4 legs, long tail, and this big jaw, it's a very impressive predator. The caiman can lay about 50 eggs in each clutch. Can live for about 50 years. Impressive, right? and they can even reach about 6 meters in length. But that's in adult male specimens. As you can see, it's also super soft. It has air inside and we can stretch it. It's impossible to escape from these jaws. As you can see, it's able to both swim and walk with its 4 legs. It loves to submerge itself in the water, leaving its whole body underwater and only exposing its eyes and the top part of its mouth. This way, it stays crouched and hidden, waiting for prey. But it's also able to come out onto land. We'll leave it here. And now let's go ahead and try it. The second to last animal is another type of snake. Earlier, we saw the cobra. There are some snakes that are constrictors, meaning they kill their prey by strangling it. However, there are other snakes that are very venomous, and what they do is immobilize their prey by injecting venom. Here we have a very colorful type of snake. As you can see, it comes in red, black, and yellow. Up close, we can see its face with its jaw closed. Another one over here. And now let's go with the last animal in the box, which is the one that appeared in the photograph. It's a type of monkey. It's a baboon. As you can see, it has a very particular head shape and it comes with its jaw open, especially showing these 4 fangs. On these pages we have information about the wildebeest and the baboon. And look at this picture. It has quite long hair. It tells us that it usually lives in hierarchical groups of between 30 and 100 individuals. It is a very intelligent animal, endowed with a great capacity for learning. It can weigh up to about 40 kilos and measure more than 1 meter in length. And now, we've finished today's video. Here are all the animals we've learned about. If you liked it, you can help me by giving me a super like, a thumbs up. And I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss any videos. And now it's time for me to say goodbye. See you in the next video with more amazing animals. Bye!